No, as to whether it's a matter that really interests me, I would say it's more of form and not substance.
Very well.
But I think that it is also important to note that every nation must honor its heroes in ways that are befitting. So if we ask ourselves why the name Kotoka, then we need to ask who was he?
Yeah.
So who was Kotoka? He was the leader of the coup that overthrew the first democratically elected government in 1966. Now, how did the airport get named after him?
After him.
It got named after him because he died there fighting an insurrection or a counter coup.
Right.
That is it. So his colleagues then decided, oh, let's name the airport after him. Now, for today's democratic governance that we have, what are our values and what do we seek to project and what do we want to encourage? Do we want to encourage coup making or people who conduct coups? So these are questions we need to ask ourselves as a society to determine what properties or what names we should give to properties and who we should determine are our heroes that we should be respecting. So for me, it is a correction of some historical injustice in the sense that we have clearly said that coup makers should not be entertained in this country. So for me, the change of the name is appropriate. Also because if we want to tell people that we do not like coups anymore, then that is one of the things we need to correct very clearly. We also want to be sure that the history of this country is not completely misinterpreted. So I think that we need to do that. Again, if Kotoka had been alive during the coup of 1979, let us think very carefully what could have happened to him. He may have been lined up and shot like Afrifa and the others.
Yeah.
So for me, it is important that we look at all these things in context and ask ourselves whether it makes sense to change the name. And for me, I think that it is important that we change that name so that, one, we put it where it is. Kotoka did not build the airport.
No.
He did not leave any infrastructure behind.
No.
You understand? What was the impact of his government on Ghana? Those are the questions that people need to ask. So when people look at the history of Ghana and say, why Kotoka? We should be able to give tangible reasons. At the moment...
By the time he was celebrated as a hero, as a liberator.
Well, but you see, every society must judge its heroes in its context. So if you go to America...
And within a time frame?
And within a time... You see, so when you go to America, former slave owners in Virginia, just a few years ago, their statues were torn down. Because the society's values doesn't reflect him anymore. When you go to South Africa, the universities, there were demonstrations, statues were pulled down. All over the world, Iraq, Soviet Union, statues have been pulled down because those people no longer represent the values of that society.
Right.
So it is important that we realize it's a fluid situation. So we need to amend those things with the changing times so that every society will look at us and say, yes, truly these people are making progress with the people they put forward as their heroes at any given time. So for me, those are the things that are important.
I think it's not just about a name change, but it reflects our struggle with history and democracy over the period.
Exactly. So I say that unfortunately, we are no longer teaching history properly in our schools. But I think that he shouldn't be forgotten in terms of the role he played.
Right.
So history must be taught so that people know the role he played. And then people can then judge clearly that no, he's either a hero or a villain. And therefore his name must not be put on any national symbol. So other than that, we can decide that we want a place where we want to honor want to remember those who created insurrections in this country and put all their names there. But it is important that we don't create the impression that he was a hero.
He wasn't?
who's hero?
At the time?
Who's hero? You see, again, at that time, who measured the number of people who celebrated versus those who didn't celebrate? You understand?
Yeah.
Because it's a military takeover. And those who clearly are not happy with it cannot come on the street at that time because they fear the guns. It's just like any coup. Which coup in Ghana has not been celebrated? Which coup? You tell me which coup in Ghana has not been celebrated. So clearly every coup has been celebrated. The question is, do the number of people truly who support the coup outnumber those who do not support the coup? And the only way we have decided to determine that is through democracy, where people go and vote. So unfortunately, that is not a scientific measure to say that Kotoka was a hero because some people celebrated. You understand?
Today we mark June 4 by a significant portion of society.
Exactly. That is why, again,
31st December.
we made a law to say that the celebration of June 4 should no longer should be banned. Because the democratic dispensation does not celebrate coups. And 31st and all that. And that is why the cenotaph in front of the flagstaff, nobody goes there to light it anymore.
Right.
You understand? So let us be consistent with what we are seeking to do, rather than pick and choose what fits us. So we need to be consistent in that process of correcting the wrongs of our society and celebrating those who we wish to celebrate.
Public perception of historical figures change over time.
It changes over time. Changes over time. Those that endure show that they have been consistent. They have been consistent through the ages. So it is important that we look at those things and say, look, let's do this.
How soon would you want to see this happen?
Or as for timelines, I guess it's, because if they are saying it's an issue of law, I don't want this. It's, like I said, it's form rather than serious substance. So I don't think that I would want to put a deadline and say do it by tomorrow. No. But I think that the process must not be antagonized. People must not see it as a victory of one group over another. We must see it as a society and ask ourselves, who are the heroes of our society and who do we want to celebrate and who do we want to honor? Rather than see it as one party against the other. I think that we need to have that dispassionate discussion about this matter so that it's not seen as one party versus another party.
Is there any significant threat with still keeping his name there? Because there are those that argue that Kotoka's actions ultimately paved the way for an unstable democracy, and so keeping his name at the airport sends the wrong signal, or if you like, might be the one factor that will encourage somebody to toe the same line.
Yeah, for me, that is correct. In that it doesn't. What are we celebrating about him? That's the question I keep asking. What are we celebrating about him? Why should we put name a national asset for him to honor him? Those are the questions that I can't find answers to.
Very well. Very well.